deep state implies there's a group of people in kind of, black coats in a smoky room pulling strings, but the corruption is systemic. All of these agencies are captive agencies. The CIA is ultimately working for industry like the oil industry, the coal industry, and the military contractors. And that they've always had that tie since the very beginning. Alan Dulles, who had worked for Sullivan Cromwell and ended up doing coup d'etats on behalf of his former clients like Texaco and United Fruit, Texaco and BP in Iran in 1953. His former client, United Fruit, when Jacob Arbenz in Guatemala tried to nationalize United Fruit, the CIA under Dulles went and overthrew the government to protect the interests of his former clients. So there's always been these ties to industry, and the ties now, and particularly the oil industry, and the ties to the military-industrial contractors really drive CIA action and CIA intelligence. And we have to, you have to stop. And this is systemic in all these agencies. I mean, USDA is run by Cargill, Smithfield, Monsanto, Bo Pilgrim, John Tyson. EPA is run. When we sued EPA, we got discovery documents that showed that the head of the pesticide division, Jess Rowland, had been secretly working for Monsanto for a decade. And, sending memos back and forth with Monsanto, directing them, you need to kill this study, you need to kill that study. And this, unfortunately, is not the exception. It is the rule. Most of the people who work for those agencies are good citizens, they're good Americans, they're honest, and they're patriots. But the people who tend to rise in those agencies and occupy these very, very powerful key positions for decades or years, like Anthony Fauci, 50 years, are people who are in the tank with industry. And what we need to do is unravel that across the government. And that's really what people say, that's the deep state. That really is what it's a systemic corruption within our agencies that's driven by agency capture.
Gas station pumps down. It's sporadic right now. I've been all over Facebook and Telegram and in my little sources that it's spotty at best, right? Okay, now I'm gonna zoom in on this, move that over. Now the big thing is it's not gonna give us the deep information. I'm not paying for a subscription, but this is just to show you that the outages are affecting certain areas. I do have Down Detector up right now. All right, we're gonna click over to Down Detector and take a peek right now. All right, this is everything having an effect, right? I want you guys to pay attention. All right, we're gonna go through it. Google, Amazon, Wells Fargo, Square, Walmart, 911.gov, Spectrum, Verizon, AT&T. They're not too bad. All right, DoorDash. It's pretty much everybody, right? We're bouncing around different sectors and stuff, right? We're going to go to social media. The social media doesn't have too much going on. TikTok is a little strange right now. I'm going to be honest with you. TikTok right now is not letting me do a lot. Now, that could just be censorship, to be quite honest. But goes to say that a lot of things are affected right now, but it's not social media that's so much being hit as it is telecommunications and finance right now, okay? The airlines have been hit also. They're saying they're trying to go for a global grounding of all flights from Delta, American Airlines, and another one. Posted on my page. I can't think of it. All right. So this CrowdStrike thing, why does CrowdStrike affect everybody? I know how you guys feel about CNN. I get it, but let's just use them as a reference and get this information out. All right. Now, I want you guys to look at something. What is CrowdStrike? We're going to move around. This company also helps run cybersecurity investigations for the U.S. government. For example, CrowdStrike has tracked North Korean hackers for more than a decade, company says. All right. So they're telling you that this company isn't just your run-of-the-mill cybersecurity firm. That's not how any of this is working right now, okay? Now, CrowdStrike, this is 2019 when this was reported. It gained its notoriety in 2016 when the Democratic National Committee paid the company to investigate a hack of its server, which it determined emanated from Russia. The company emanated from Russia. The company was the first to publicly sound the alarm about Russia's interference in the 2016 election, and CrowdStrike's assessment was later confirmed by the U.S. intelligence agencies. Okay? Listen. Left wing, right wing, same bird. Insulation, we talked about that. The feathers on the bird when we're talking about deep state, okay? Now, this is huge to the cybersecurity infrastructure. Right now, their stocks are plummeting. We're talking, they're dropping as we speak, right? Not too crazy, but I checked them. They're down about 8 to 10% when I checked earlier. It could be more now, all right? Now, I know everyone's thinking, is this the big one? I don't think so. Why? Because I'm talking to you right now. You can literally see my face. I can see my ticker with the numbers. Damn it, I'm here. So it's not the big one just yet, but people are affected. These incidents are getting larger and larger. And when we say larger, I mean by the scope of effect. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about the AT&T a couple months ago. Facebook had one. Everyone's kind of been a face for this whole situation. This might be the largest of the year because it's global and CrowdStrike's reach goes a lot of places, okay? So we have to remember this. It's not what you think. Now, they're saying it's software malfunction. They're not saying hack. I think if they said it was a hack, it would pretty much be done, all but done, right? We're talking about a giant corporation who manages governments, corporations, small businesses, but a lot of big players, right? So it's going to be real hard to believe that it was a hack, not to believe that it wasn't a hack, okay? So they're just saying software malfunction right now. Now, there are many other reports coming out all over. Of course, you know, guys, I'm on Telegram. You know, find my Telegram, The Daily Rabbit Hole. We're in that one right now, too. All right. We're going to swap over real quick.
News, as Ken was just talking about, a global IT outage is causing major problems this morning. If you're just joining us, here's what you need to know. The outage is hitting industries across the world, including airlines, banks, healthcare, and media broadcasters. Major U.S. airlines have grounded flights, and there are global delays. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike told NBC that an update led to the outages, and it is not a cyber attack. WRAL's Monica Casey is at RDU. Monica, you've been there all morning long. You've spoken to some travelers who are frustrated, but things slowly starting to get back on track.
Yeah, Michelle, it has been a long morning here, but if you take a look at behind me at security, we are seeing some people start to go through there, so there is a silver lining. Things seem to be getting better. If you take a look at the arrivals board here, though, at RDU, you can see just how many people have been impacted. American Airlines says as of 5 a.m., they were able to reestablish their operation, and now United says they are resuming some flights as well. I spoke with a woman who has been trying to get home for more than 2 days now. Her Frontier flight from Phoenix to Tampa first got stuck in Cleveland. Her second flight from here to Tampa was delayed overnight, and this morning she arrived to find a packed airport and another delay.
All right. Listen, this isn't the big one, but this does need to raise antennas. I'm just going to say it out loud. We need to raise antennas on this one, okay? Why do we need to raise antennas? There's a lot happening right now in the world. Like, while this is the biggest report, there are a lot of things transpiring right now. So I did post in my stories that an American reporter was sentenced to 16 years for espionage in Russia. Now, what does that matter? I mean, again, Russia's there's something between the Russia report, CrowdStrike, and Russia not being affected by this either. They're the only ones not really being affected, right? So, which is strange, fair, but means nothing considering Russia's been cut off from everything in America. You can pretty much assume that, yeah, if something was to go wrong everywhere else, Russia's not affected. So, just something to think about, all right? Something to think about. All right, we're going to click back over. All right. So, in America, we're feeling it right now. We're feeling it. Those are all the major networks. So you see red is the network interfaces. So a lot of the network interfaces are being touched, but it's more or less application servers. Microsoft has been said to pretty much be useless at this point. Now, regardless of how true that is or not, I'm running my computer and it's on Microsoft right now. So it is what it is. Now, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just reporting what's going on as it's happening right now. I had to, kind of get myself together this morning. I woke up, phone was buzzing from news reports. I looked in it and it was like global outage, CrowdStrike, Delta Airlines. I'm like, oh shit. Let me get up, move around. So right now it's a lot of application servers. Now, see this nice little area right here now near Virginia is where a lot of the heat's coming from right now. Okay. All of it's Microsoft Office, all of it near Virginia in the US, right? But we go over here, we got Oracle on the list and a few others, mainly Microsoft. They're not going to show you everybody either. For what's the word I'm looking for? Government reasons, American infrastructure, whatever. They don't want to show you. It's not like they wouldn't know anyway. But what I'm saying right now is that global outages are happening right now. It is not the big one, but it is Friday, and we always know if we heard things, they say things happen on a Friday. This could just be a minor blip, and it's a software update. Nothing crazy right now. I'm just here letting you know what's going on as it's happening, all right? That is all. So as you can see, CrowdStrike is the top conversation all over the internet right now. Now, we do have the notion that someone's going to hit the button and hit the switch and turn the lights out. That's what we're all thinking. All right. No one actually trusts our leadership. We all assume that worst case scenario, they cut the lights out and here we all are. I don't think that's going to be an issue just yet. I do think this is a precursor, as we call it. This is the largest one we've had this year. This is global. Now, we've had the water incidents that we've been hearing about. Texas got hit with a hack on their water systems. Multiple other 911 agencies or communication systems have been hit throughout the year. AT&T also, Facebook, Instagram, the pharmaceutical networks have been hit too. So people are still getting backlogged on their medication. So right now, it's either the infrastructure is really faulty or someone's taking advantage of the faulty infrastructure. It's only two choices, and if there's a third one, you always got to be kind of skeptic and wear the tinfoil hat. A lot of people don't trust the deep state. It is what it is. If you trust the government, then sure, great, but there's a huge chance that this could be some type of organized deep state move. This is what we hit. This is what we're here to discuss. This is what we're here to talk about. Now, when you guys watch this video, because I know it's early in the day, but I'm telling you now, I would keep an eye on this. Makes you think about bank runs, makes you think about people not being able to access money, makes you think about your communications going down. Now you got to wonder, are you prepared? What are you thinking about right now? For most, they're either at work hating life or it's not affecting them enough for them to even care. This is what we're here. This is why we're here. And this is what we're doing, is to explain why you should care. Okay. Now, not the only thing happening in the news, right? I want to talk about something else. This may get me in trouble online, at least with Facebook, but apparently the International Court of Justice just put out a release that Palestine has been occupied illegally, in so many words. I'm trying to make sure I don't say it incorrect. I did see it earlier when I was going through all the outage information. There's some stuff going on right now that could be a part of this. Yeah, here we are. So I'm gonna switch my screen over, okay? And we're gonna have a moment and we're gonna talk about something. World Court ruling ICJ finds Israeli occupation of Palestine territories unlawful, must end presence. What in the whole fuck? What is going on today? Now, this isn't, is it shocking? Yes and no. It's shocking for two reasons. One, I didn't think they were going to say the hard part out loud. Two, they happened to make the ruling today. Okay? So what's happening right now? What is happening in Israel right now is that they're saying that the occupation of the Palestinian territories is unlawful. It's over. They have to leave. It's done, over, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Get out. You ain't got to leave, but you got to get the hell up out of here. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's strange today. There's something afoot. Do I know? No, I'm just pointing out some obvious things right now. So, where do we go from all of this? When you guys watch this later on, you're going to be like, what? Really? Yeah, this is happening right now. 2 hours ago, Bibi lashes out at ICJ, lies, says the Jewish people do not occupy their own land. People, it is happening. Whatever's supposed to be going on, I'm not going to call it the white hats. I refuse to do that. But what I'm saying is something is going on. In 80 years of Israel sitting in that land, everything has been ruled in their favor until today. And today, guess what happens? CrowdStrike. This is the same group of people known for investigating North Korea. I'm not saying they're connected. That's not what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying right now is there's something going on. However you want to take that, it's entirely on you. But I can tell you right now, as of July 19th, 2024, something's going on. And it's being displayed in front of us. Now, we just got out of the RNC yesterday where Trump gave his speech for the end of the day, for the end of the convention, right? I was watching some of it. I need to go back and go through it. But I want to say that right now, the stoking of the flame of conspiracy is here right now. Media is trying to do what they can best and spin their narratives, but I'm here to tell you right now, whatever the hell is going on, it's about to come to the front. It's soon to come to the front. This is right on election year. This is right before the election. All I'm saying is, I've been saying it the whole time. We're talking about the deep state and what they're capable of. And if this really is a charade, then the charade is failing for them. Because I understand why the Annans and the MAGAs and the Trumpers say that, stand by and all that stuff, the white hats. Because, yeah, reports like this make you realize there's something going on and possibly someone working in the favor of the people right now against the deep state. But again, I always say the same thing. To stop the deep state, you have to be a part of the deep state. I am just a mere man on here talking about what he knows and tracking this stuff in real time. That's all I am. I'm banking on y'all to pass this information around and wake each other up if anyone else is going to wake up. But in the circles that we discuss in, we know what some of this stuff is leading to, where it could go. What I'm saying is right now, to stop what's going on, it's going to take a collective effort from the inside and the outside, us being the outside, because whatever the hell's going on right now, it's going. Whatever's going on right now, people, it is moving, and it is moving with a purpose. And I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what's supposed to happen. Now, I've read the agendas. I've read the resets. I get it. I've seen policy and legislation passed that lines exactly up with every agenda that we're talking about. And that's the problem. And that's why I keep saying these agendas either got to be completely separate with key talking points, or it's the same exact agenda just worded differently for both sides so that they can eat it with a spoon. But whatever's happening right now, it's happening in live time. Now, how far this goes, we're going to find out. You know the rule. If it, starts about Thursday or Friday, the story says that it's going to happen Friday. It'll be one of those situations where, banks are closed on Sunday because that's where they do their big, change or reset, whatever. Then if a precursor or a lineup for it, then sure. But I'm saying I don't know what it is because I don't buy into the Annons and I don't buy into the MAGAs. I don't buy into all of that. I don't buy into the left because the left is on their own theory is that, you know what I'm saying? It's Trump trying to gain control of the country, this and that. And for the most part, they think it's hacking from other countries. More people in America are scared of their own government than they are other countries because the only people who have harmed the American people more is the government or deep state, whatever you want to call them. So what we're watching right now is just another episode to the season finale. It's winding down. Like now, if I had to guess, 3-4 more shows before we get to the season finale in November. About 3 or 4 more. Now, I say coordinated attacks a lot. In my defense, when I say coordinated attacks, the ones I'm talking about kind of play into this, kind of not. I'm thinking more or less boots on ground coordinated attacks. What we're watching right now is very much so someone's playing around with our cybersecurity infrastructure. Whether CrowdStrike or whoever it is, it's happening. And CrowdStrike alone by itself are a large group. Like, again, these people handle the North Korean investigations for like 10 years. They're outsourcing a lot of their software to different companies. And on top of that, they're the ones involved in the 2016 incident of Russian collusion, or as one person said, the Russian collusion hoax in that case. So, right now, we have to be real weary of what's going on. This is on the heels of last week's assassination attempt and this week's major outage of CrowdStrike due to a software defect, allegedly. All right. Now, me personally, if it is a software defect, then it can be easily fixed. Those things happen. But something tells me this isn't random. Something tells me it's more than meets the eye, right? This whole deep state idea is that they're going to turn on us, cut the lights off, blame it on somebody else. And then basically the notion on a lot of shows that I've seen, the number is with the power out within a month, they're saying 90% could be gone. I've heard also up to 1 year, 90% could be gone. So we got 1 month to a whole year of no electricity or some type of destabilization or whatever, and 90% of the American population would be gone. Where would the deep state be? Well, we know all about the DUMBs, or the deep underground military bases that have their own power grids that run off solar energy and wind energy. So is it a possibility that this thing is coming to, I guess, fruition? I don't know. I do know that there's something terribly wrong right now with this whole situation because CrowdStrike, has its ties. So for you to be that large, your ties and your infrastructure has to be pretty much locked tight. You can't have any hiccups like that. So for them to have such a hiccup on software defect is like, sure, it happens. Maybe they're hiring terrible personnel like Secret Service these days. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Now, where do we go as a whole, and what are we watching right now? We as a whole better get our homes in order. One day, it's not gonna come back on. I can't tell you the time nor years like when Jesus show up. I can never say when that dude's gonna come. But I'm telling you now, in this situation, the lights will go out before he come back. I'm telling you now, the lights will go out before he come back. Might come back while they're on if you get what I'm saying. Project Blue Beam. Blue Beam. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm trying to take this in because in my studies and my research, I try to understand what is our end game. Sure, you can get your home in order, you can get your pews and your freedom tickets and your buckets of food and your water tablets, but that's only going to last for so long. So what's the end game for all of them? One side says freedom, quantum financial system, Nasara, just freedom everywhere, just freedom all in our eyes. And then the other side looks like complete and utter FEMA camp slavery, eating bugs, carbon emissions, and a whole lot of things that just make us pay more in taxes. That's really what this is right now. And for me, watching this whole global outage, it lets me know that possibly this shit is real. Just possibly. Just a hair, like I said, even if a small percentage of this stuff is true, you would have to think, what about the other stuff we've been hearing? And how they keep playing out in front of us as we hear these little notions and these articles like, oh, the power grid's struggling, or when's the last time, your infrastructure's been tested. In Alabama, we have natural disaster month. Like, we have preparedness month in the state of Alabama. So for us, we're looking at possibilities that could happen. Me personally, I think Kay Ivey's trying to tell us something, but I don't know about everyone else's governor. I know about mine in Alabama, and I can tell you Kay Ivey she's been kind of spot on with some policies and legislation inside the state of Alabama, and it's looking like it's for the people. Now, there's some bullshit sliding through there, and I won't say it's not. What I'm saying is, across the board, certain governors are making moves for the people, and other governors are making moves against the people. Today's move, me personally, may be against the people or America itself, because America is probably the hardest hit right now. Australia is also reporting that their news agencies are out right now. They cannot broadcast. They're broadcasting in other ways, but mass broadcasting is done. Now, this could be a test on a bank run. I wouldn't be shocked. It could be a simulation. Look at what I got at the top of my screen. We're all in this PSYOP together. For all we know, they could just be testing right now. If the news agencies went out, planes were grounded, not just planes, but all transportation's grounded, and all the banks can't give money, I bet you would see some type of run. Will CrowdStrike survive this? Sure. They have government contracts. But will we survive it if something gets real detrimental towards us? That's the $1 million question. The notion is that they're going to let us eat each other and rip each other apart before they come up, and then we're going to ask for the answer. You know what I'm saying? They caused the problem, and then we ask for the solution, and the solution could be used against us. These are the conversations being had within deep state networks, whole friend groups. The whole idea is that they're going to turn on us, enslave us, and then transhumanism, they're going to put a chip in you and bug you and do all that other stuff. Even though we've already been bugged with cell phones, shit, they're tracking me right now. I'm sure of it. Like, look at me, like, plugged into it all. So how do you expect them to not make a move? They could cut this off right now, and there's nothing we could do. We would be without any resolve, any help. 911 goes out. The news isn't working or not fully working. You have to go to the emergency broadcasting system or the backup system that they have for television and communications. And then give it a couple days. Once people realize that they can't take money out and they're going to try to make a run on the bank, they can't do nothing. You're going to get complete pandemonium because most people don't have 3 days worth of food in their house. So what we're watching right now, some people think it's a test. Some people think it could be a hack. CrowdStrike is saying it's a defective software update. That's a hell of a defective software update if I've ever seen one, people. That's just my honest opinion. I'm not a professional. I'm just saying it happens quickly, apparently. Okay, so we're gonna keep our ears close to this. Pay attention. Look at the news sources coming out. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, a lot of moving pieces going on, and everyone can't see it because some people are too busy sucking from the tit of the Republican Party due to Trump, and the other ones are basically snorting it on the left side. So you got two sides of people just buying into the mix and not understanding that this all could honestly be a psyop right now. And it's possible, but I think personally we should keep an eye on this, right? It's been a lot going on for the last couple days. And as we go through these motions, I want you to understand it could potentially keep getting worse, right? One day you wake up and your damn cell phone ain't working. Or one day you wake up and your water come out brown and black. You in trouble if that water come out a different color or they put out a report. And by that point, it may be too late. So, again, no cause for alarm. We're just alerting the masses so that you know what's going on right now. No cause for alarm. No cause for alarm, people. Just pay attention and take it for what it is. Don't just think like, oh man, they'll fix it. Sure. But the spikes on down detector say something otherwise, right? Uber Eats, massive spike. And this is updating. I keep going back and updating it. CrowdStrike all over the place. Microsoft all over the place. If you notice the banks are showing that rapid decline in issues. Rapid decline. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Rapid decline. Rapid decline. Rapid decline. Walmart, rapid decline. That's payment systems. Zoom, government contracted places. Think about all the places that we're naming right now, all with crowdsource or some form of contract, or it's government involved, right? AT&T, Spectrum, Lyft, massive spike. They even got Brawl Stars. I don't even know what that is. I guess that's a game. But we're talking payment systems, media, up and down. It's a lot of people being hit with this right now, right? Let's see what else we can find. Let's see. Only things that really matter to me is telecommunications, finance, and online services. You notice your browser's fine, your AI is fine, ADP, they had a massive spike. Amazon Web Services felt it. Think about the places that we're naming right now. These are all contracts. These are all government entities or contracts to some extent. ADP is human resource, people. Amazon Web Services, shit, man, they're incubating a lot of projects right now. Quicken, one of the largest accounting firms in if not in America, if not the world right now, right? Think about it. Think about everything that you know about contracts and how they work. We got all kinds of stuff happening right now. Sure, hacks happen all the time. We have enemies. North Korea, shit, Russia, most of the Middle East, parts of South America, parts of Africa. Hell, it's people here that don't like us. It's really no thought pattern or process or identification of who you could assume this is, other than the notion that it's the deep state. But the deep state has many faces, it has many nationalities, many ethnicities, many moving parts. So it's hard to just say it's one singular hack group. Even though it's not a hack. We're not saying it's a hack. We didn't say that. Right? It's not a hack. It's a defective software update from one of the largest cybersecurity firms in the world. So, hey, shit happens. It's not the first time, and I assure you it's not going to be the last with everything going on. So due diligence, pay attention, get your homes in order. One day the lights may not come on and you may hear a lot of angry voices moving up and down your street. Just something to think about. I'm not trying to scare the holy hell out of you. I'm just saying after the week we've had with the spectacle and at the assassination tip, and the whole RNC convention, now there's rumors of Biden maybe dropping out because he's apparently has COVID. And he said if he ever got sick or he wasn't up to it physically, they would let him out. Those are whispers happening. We have Israel right now who's been told that they've been occupying parts of Palestine or the West Bank illegally, and it's time to go. That is official from the International Court of Justice, ICJ. All right, guys, we showed that screen. So whatever's happening, it's happening. And it's happening whether you want it to happen or not. Always remember that. It's going to happen regardless of how you want it to happen. Point blank, period. So keep your eyes open. Continue your day. Just remember, the predictive programming has already been out there in multiple movies, multiple shows, multiple cartoons, anything you can think of. We got Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard. That was a fire sale where they affected the infrastructure like the water, the grid, and everything else. And some parts were in the dark, some parts weren't. All right. So that's one of them. I would like to put in there Swordfish. Swordfish is a classic one for the deep state and predictive programming. Swordfish basically showed that they were faking events to scare money out of Senate and Congress. And the dude John Travolta had played was an asset going around just causing problems, right? But to us, it looked like, oh, it's real terrorism. Yeah, to an extent, it is terrorism, just by the people you didn't expect. So in that situation, there was also hacking involved and going into bank accounts and doing all this weird shit, right? Just to scare money out of people. Always remember that this predictive programming psyop is always in your face, and they're going to put it in your face. And it's on us to accept it, and if we do, they just go through with it. So me personally, I'm not saying what's happening today is anything that I've said. I'm saying that it's eerily suspicious that we got another weekend of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Or FUD. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, sorry. This is where we're at right now. You got people like myself and everyone on the Daily Rabbit Hole sitting here discussing the playbook for the deep state. If you want to believe that thing. If you believe Trump and all that, then clearly you understand that there's some type of problem within our leadership. And if you're on the left and you're still thinking Sleepy Joe is the best choice for all of us, he may not even make it to the election at this point. It's a huge possibility that the party is actually trying to figure out what to do. Huge possibility. Do I have proof? Absolutely not. I can only go by the information given to me through all sources that I get them from. And it's a lot of sources. So take it how you want to, but we're all in this psyop together, and this is where we're at. And as the host of the Daily Rabbit Hole, I'd like to tell you it's playing out. It's still playing out how it needs to play out. Nothing has really changed. It's on pace. Now, the Israel thing is a little noticeable as far as why they're being kicked off the territory, in the fact that the ICJ ruled in favor of Palestine. I want you to think about that. They ruled in favor. So right now, the notion in Israel is if they can't have it, nobody can have it. That's a real saying. So me personally, keep an eye on this press, keep an eye on this news. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to see how this is going to play out. I'm not sure how it will, but it will. And when it does, I would like for y'all to make sure you understand that there's going to be a huge I told you so. Big I told you so. But we're going to have to watch it play out. Now, in other reports, let's move away from the outages, right? There's other reports that I've been meaning to talk about. Anybody in the Midwest right now if you're out there and you're listening, I've been getting reports about earthquake preparation on that side of the nation, which is very, very, very unheard of. Not, not since the 1800s, late 1900s, and the New Madrid Fault. All right. Now, the reports are kind of slowly coming out. Underground fault line in Missouri once caused major earthquake. Could it happen again? Why are we having this conversation? It hasn't happened in a while. You get tremors every now and then, but the New Madrid fault line runs through, I think what it is, parts of Kentucky and Missouri. A little bit of Ohio, too. So, do you want to stoke that chord right now? There's a lot of fear-mongering going on right now, guys, and I need you guys to be aware to it. You guys got to stay hip. You got to stay aware. I know you guys see me looking into my phone. It's not that. It's that I'm just trying to make sure I haven't been taken down on platforms just yet. So give me a second to play around and look at some things from third point of view, excuse me. Just making sure. So, yes. We got a lot going on. We got incidents, with migrants and child trafficking and human trafficking and houses being found with people in them. We're getting notices about earthquakes in New Madrid, and this is a conversation that maybe sparked up more in the last 3 months just because of the earthquakes that's hit parts of America that shouldn't be hitting parts of America. So when we talk about this deep state conversation, the assumption is that they're all manufactured. I know that's hard to believe, but if you heard of HARP and DARPA and all these other little agencies that work through the college institutions, then you would know that this is where it's coming from. I can't say it's true. I can only show you the evidence that I find and information that I find. But what I'm saying is that I would not put anything past them, because if the information is somewhat true, they've been here for a while and they do this. Every time the system fails them, or they get their covers blown, as you call it, something tragic happens to the masses and they go from there. I'm not saying that's going to happen to us. I'm just saying that clearly whatever you guys are reading, watching, and listening to, you all are coming to your own assumptions about this. And if you're coming to your own assumptions about it, then maybe there's something to it, and collectively maybe we could figure this out. Now, that's entirely on y'all. But right now, with everything happening with this outage, it makes you wonder. It definitely makes you wonder where we go from here. I'm not sure. As a whole, as Americans, we'll go on like nothing happened. Sure, that's pretty common from us, but in the same breath, we could just be basically walking blind into a situation that we're not prepared for. And that could be the harshest reality that we're having about this deep state conversation. Me personally, I always tell you to keep your home in order and pay attention to the obvious clues like you did last week. This week, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Pay attention to the obvious clues. It's in your face. It's happening. It's not like it's not happening. Someone has to be at the root of this. And I always say when there's a stench of government involved, you might want to look for the pile of shit somewhere. It's neither here nor there right now, but in the moment that it does become the topic of conversation, you're going to come back to these videos and be like, dang, this man was really sitting here on his pivot trying to explain it. All I can tell you now is buckle up. The rest of the year is going to be interesting, guys. We're all in this together. As much as y'all don't want to believe we're in this together, and for all you other spectrum leaners, as I call you, I'm going to call you a liberal or a snowflake or a slave. That's kind of harsh. We'll call you spectrum leaners. I need you to understand, man, everything ain't what it seems. And what you're watching right now is a huge show. If you wanted to put Designated Survivor, House of Cards together, that would pretty much sum it up. So, for me to you, understand what's going on. Will I be on tonight? Sure, I might be on tonight. We're gonna see how all this plays out. If I'm on tonight, I may not be on Facebook. I may not. It's 50-50. This conversation may be more suited for Rumble. But if I am, I'll see you guys tonight, man. No worries. But again, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. CrowdStrike is involved, and if CrowdStrike is involved, it's bigger than what you think. They're never going to put out the official report. They're not going to tell you the truth if they don't have to. And right now, they don't have to explain this to anybody. They don't. All you need to know is there's a software update. And that's the most important feature of this whole entire conversation, is that it's a software malfunction or a software update malfunction. It's not a hack. I understand public relations too, so we'll leave it at that. Worst case scenario, it is that. And if it is that, then it has to be coordinated throughout. It ain't just one 12-year-old kid or one fat dude in his mom's basement. If he is, then that dude's something serious. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I can do is present you the news as it comes. It's coming in quickly. Deep sell-off driven by tech stocks and mixed earnings. While investors assess the impact on a global cyber outage that knocked down CrowdStrike shares. Excuse me. So they're trying to put the fire out right now, guys. It ain't working. I wanted to report this and let you guys know. Also, it helps me gets my daytime schedule flowing a little bit better with this stream stuff. So you'll see a lot more of me in the daytime on Rumble. Just tune in. We're going to start doing news reports, daytime conversation about the deep state, called the Deep State Lunch Report. Something goofy like that. I don't know. But pay attention. Cybersecurity forum CrowdStrike looks like it's not good and they're on fire. They hold a lot of contracts and they're touching everything around the world. It matters. Pay attention.